5 jurors chosen, 9 more to go, but selection of 12 jurors and 2 alternates is about a lot more than keeping score in this trial of Derek Chauvin.
It really is. All it takes is one juror, one holdout that could block a conviction or an acquittal. So there is plenty of strategy going on behind the scenes of jury selection. Here's Tom Lydon of the Fox 9 investigators.
What the world is watching from the 18th floor of the Government Center isn't some kind of tedious pregame or prelude of what's to come. In many ways, it's the main event.
The trial starts the minute the jurors walk in the room. And it can be decisive. If you get somebody on there who absolutely does not want to convict a police officer, it's over.
Diane Wiley has seen it all as a trial consultant for nearly 50 years. She says jurors are forming perceptions the moment they arrive and see the barricades, the razor wire, and the demonstrations.
A lot of our responses are simply emotional responses. So you see the razor wire and you think, ooh, trouble, you know? So, I mean, that kind of just makes your heart pound a little bit more, you know? It makes you a little bit more fearful. Where does that fear go? Who do you end up putting that fear on?
Wiley is impressed so far with the questioning of prospective jurors from both sides, how the attorneys are asking open-ended questions.
Is there a situation in your personal life that you can think of where you thought you were absolutely 100% right, certain, and then it later turns out you were wrong?
These prospective jurors are not strangers. They've already answered a 14-page questionnaire probing their perceptions of police and race. Attorneys have likely analyzed their social media accounts and any public paper trail.
Are there any specific differences for what the prosecution may be looking for in a juror versus what the defense might want to see?
You know, this is a misconception that people have about jury selection, that people approach it as, who do we want? But really, when you're doing a jury selection, you have to be focused on, who do we need to excuse? Because that's all you can do.
And Wiley believes both sides are at a disadvantage because prospective jurors aren't being polled as a group, but rather as individuals.
You're anticipating who's to come.
Yes, exactly.
And is that someone I want to place my bets with, or do I want to go with the person I have right here?
Exactly.
Who may not be perfect, but I may not get better.
As expected, all the prospective jurors have seen at least part of the video of George Floyd's arrest. The key is whether their opinions are fixed and unchangeable.
It feels like there are really two, at least, reputations on trial here.
Both sides have a problem with the image of their clients, right?
To make the justice system work, I think we need people that are part of the community.
The trial may also expose chronic issues of representation in jury pools. In the 4th Judicial District of Hennepin County last year, jury pools were 80% white, 8% black, 3% Hispanic. But Hennepin County at large is only 68% white, 13% black, and 6% Hispanic. Wiley says those differences can be profound.
When you translate it into numbers, it's a lot. Because what that means is if you have 100 people, you should have 10, and you're only going to have 8. And that means that they're 20% underrepresented.
What's likely becoming clear to the prospective jurors is that this trial will be about more than just 8 minutes and 46 seconds. It's the medical evidence about what caused George Floyd's death, the training Minneapolis police officers receive, and all of that through the very specific frame of the law. And this process is about finding the 12 men and women who can make that decision impartially, based on the evidence.
People often talk about the jury, and it's not really, they're not a monolith. They're just people.
Tom Lydon, Fox 9.